But crystal too? You're joking.
I went up to give some breeze to the chocolate.
It hasn't been.
Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid. But you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Hippocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat, a coating that should provide the protection you need. He's supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as we speak.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Don't thank me. I'm just the errand boy.
Right then, better start working out how to bolt all these bits together. To the Black Hammer!
You know, when I got into the smithing game, I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Same difference. Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way!
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is gonna require some precision walloping.
It's finished! It's finally finished!
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone. That's one down and just 3 more to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
You don't mean...
Don't worry. Now they've got a finished one to work off, my gang in Canva can build the rest.
Good luck to them, I say. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other work comes in, keep it to yourselves, eh?
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just daydreaming. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon to shores unknown. Searching for a land untouched by the Blight. Just like me and my dad planned. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap of soil in the Twins turned black, we might still have a chance. That's what she was meant to be. You see, one last chance just in case we needed it. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually live.
I'm working on that. And I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
Don't you always? All right. My mind's made up. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans. I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's what my dad would have wanted.
He'd be proud of you.
You were gonna visit his grave, weren't you?
I was. And you can come too now that your little project is finished.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be a mo.
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Mid told me she was building a ship.
How may I help you today, Clive? Your benefactors are a generous lot. You earned this. All done?
I think Mid might need some help, Tony.
Well. Here, Sid. Reckon you might be just the man to help me out of a...
Let's hear it.
Well, it's about this alembic the Chief's got me making. Lovely bit of kit it is. Bunging a solution you want splitting, and it will separate it out, just like that. Probably
Imagine.
not gave you...
Right. to the stables, girl. Greetings, Your Majesty. Your reign is over. Now to collect the ash. This looks like the stuff. Let's see if there's any more. That should do it. The wine needs more than this. He can fetch it himself.
All right, there's. How's that?
I have it.
That's your right. There we have it. The Telemon Alembic. And it works just like the chief said it would.
Very impressive.
Says the man who cut down a burning boulder. Speaking of which, I still haven't returned.
There's...
Don't be... Why don't you let me take a look at that bag of yours? The one you keep your potions in.
What?
Well, we happen to have isolated a substance in our test run of the Alembic that I thought we might use it to breathe new life into old boots and the like. Save the hideaway a few gil. Ah, I reckon if we slap a bit on your bag, it'll loosen it up enough for you to squeeze in a...
Well,
That's the spirit. Leave it with me. Well, what do you reckon?
it certainly feels more... flexible.
Right? Told you.
Thank you. I think.
No. Thank you for supporting Mid and the rest of us in our endeavors. Without you, we'd never have been able to discover wonders like that stuff I rubbed on your bag. And I'm telling you, there's plenty more where that came from.
told me she was building a ship.
Well, don't just stand there gawping. It'd better all be here. You'll not find a better price than that. It'd better all be here. Come again. Or don't. I'm not much bothered either way.
Crystal too. You're joking.
Trouble with the lead? Look. Hopefully it's...
Black, not really.
This one. I just... And you might still be doubting your plan.
That's it.
I'll say shut up. Let's see what Karen... I got your note. You think something's wrong with...
So you can read. But eating, you know.
No. Is that it, boy? Do you need a rest?
What was it you said he was? A frost wolf?
That's what the lawsman seems to think.
Then maybe this all has something to do.
I suppose things have been different since Rosalith.
Instead of everything, you mean?
You want...
Run.
Nice.
No, there's not.
Which minute?
You think Lord and his record.
Thank
Oh.
no. Hello, she said...
All and if it may well be frost has to, and the love.
Even so.
Good hunting. How good it is to see you, Clark. If you have a question for me, I should be happy to answer it.
I'm never drinking.
They told me she was building a ship.
Clive.
That's...
Shh. A little and sad. I'm
Be late for that.
There you are.
So let me, you get the map. Oh, we owe 3 of our...
Each. They lent us the bulk of the money we used to rebuild the hideaway, you see, and well,
Those ledgers were my responsibility.
Do we have that much to hand? I can always ask my uncle.
No, we don't. And no, after the king's ransom we had off him, he deserves better than to see our begging bowl. Besides, we'll need to learn to stand on our own if...
All right. But that doesn't mean you have to show... Is there anything I can do to help?
There might be. How'd you fancy taking these to Martha and the dame?
Rocks.
Rocks, he says. Worth 1,000 talents apiece, these are.
A little something Sid and I set aside for, and I reckon 15 million in overdue debt probably qualifies. I just hope our associate...
I'm sure they would.
But you know how it is with this place.
I know. Which is why I don't mind.
Go. Do you know why I only gave Master Clive here 2 star rubies?
because You'd rather Lady Karen...
Because I'd rather Lady Karen killed you.
Well...
Don't worry. I'm...
Really?
No. I don't.
Clive!
I wasn't but it seems we still owe you a and though I doubt it's what you were expecting.
A star, Ruby? I can't accept this. It's worth at least twice what you owe me. More if you can find yourself the right buyer.
Think of the difference as interest.
Anyway, why are you the one here asking me about a bit much sending the Lord Marquis out to settle your debts, isn't it?
Something like that.
Same as all back when the probably knew that with Sid and when Sid passed away.
His death.
But and that.
How do? Very well.
Let's go. Fly, Ambrosia. Time to fight. Certainly quiet. If I were a giant antelope, it would seem like just the place.
I doubt we'll find one bigger than that. You hungry, Torgal?
Now. Will it be enough? I say that answers my question. Which means we owe the lawsman our thanks. You're just a big puppy, aren't you? A very big puppy. You do know you can take that with you, Torgal. Lady Karen will be relieved to hear you've got your appetite back.
I know. So, well, now we know what you're after. I can see about gay souls.
Speaking.
You can. In return, you can.
Well, it's just.
Ah, were you able to locate him?
We were indeed, lawsman. You pointed us in exactly the right direction.
Very good.
Lady Karen sends her thanks, by the way. For you.
Ah. But that reminds me. Do you recall our conversation concerning Lady Jill's role in Torgal's transformation?
About how she somehow woke the power within?
Precisely that. A reasonable conclusion, I thought. The Fenrir of legend served Shiva and she, and while the powers attributed to him are certainly impressive, the records imply they are somewhat different in...
What are you suggesting?
That Torgal may be the beneficiary of more than one. Consider that in addition to Lady Jill, he has served as a loyal companion to you. In short, the icons hitherto, and that number has only grown. One can but...
He has seemed more...
And if I am not mistaken, he will grow fiercer still. We are fortunate indeed.
People take notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
Gone. The whole mother crystal, gone. What are we gonna do?
My reputation will be ruined! Ruined!
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac, I beg of you, before you do yourself a mischief.
Pardon the intrusion, but...
Out! Get out! I paid for these rooms so I wouldn't be disturbed. Leave me be!
Please, allow me to apologize. His lordship is going through a difficult time, and he's never been fond of guests arriving unannounced.
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf this instant!
Very good, Lord Ignac. Would you mind stepping outside for a moment?
I'm sorry if I've...
That has been...
I don't think...
Huh?
No,
You...
I will...
Run like the wind. got company! Come on, lads, let's tear the bastard's head off!
This must be Ignac's luggage. Nothing seems to be done. All right.
I hear I have you to thank for the return of my effects. What shall I call you, my good man?
Why?
If well, read
a few.
Take the and.
Pardon the intrusion, my lordship. However, it is long past time.
I am. Too many to count, and it's... Oh, ready?
Coming.
Trust Unc now.
There's talk that the glass gate...
Did you hear? The gates to heaven.
I want to see you. It's all right.
What am I going to do without sweet water and oil of talc?
Gift? Oh, my.
Otto asked me to give it to you, to settle the hideaway's debt with the vet, and to...
I thought you might finally be warming to me. Tell Otto he can keep his baubles. I tried to tell him as much the first time around. The man owes me nothing. Nor my contribution to the restoration effort was made freely and willingly.
You once told me Sid did you a kindness. I'd like to do the same. And for Otto's. For all of us. For all...
Otto is lucky to... I doubt anything could ever...
Otto had a son.
Long ago. Yes. And blamed himself for not being able to stop it. I don't know how it happened. Whether there was anything he could have done. But it was clear that it weighed heavily on...
I didn't know.
How could you have? I doubt anyone. Besides Sid, I've never met a man more keen to bear his sorrow. An ill habit. Given the...
Go will want to know the stones were delivered. If he's still with us. Go, so let...
Oh, but she'll just carry on. I'm sure.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back. Here you are. Best of luck out there, Sid.
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Goat tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
What debt? I don't recall lending any of you lot. I may have tossed a talent or two in the eye, but those were donations.
Of course. Surely you wouldn't shun the gratitude of a pauper who happened to...
Oh, so you're a prick? Fine. But I'm selling it and taking what I'm owed, then you're getting the... Where'd you even get this? A decent trader might nab 1,000 talent. A canny one, meanwhile, might claim it were nicked from the belt of Sid the Outlaw himself. Might be you even know her. You won't.
Not.
I hear you. Thanks to this lump, I sometimes wonder what I pay you for.
Speaking of which,
Oh! So you remember what's owed to you, then? Get your ass behind that disc of yours and don't get up before those ledgers are square.
Right away.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. It was the only goblet Sid ever...
I knew so little about him.
Like most people.
Martha and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of him.
I bet they do.
How long did you know Sid before he...
Before he died. 20 summers, give or take. Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship, which is where I met him. He bought passage to... I forget where. But having nothing better to do on the long nights, we set up drinking island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to my jeep. Quit my post not long after that. But me and Sid stayed close, promising we'd one day sail the sea. That was... before fate, the magic woke inside my son soon after his first named her, and there was no hiding his knack.
Couldn't you and your family have...
My family were the ones who wanted the monster. I couldn't turn my back on him. And I couldn't for the life of me under... Luckily, it was him who stood beside me when... Him who cried for me. Him who swore he'd do everything he could. And he was true to his word, too. Left the Royal Army once and for all. Threw away everything he had. I knew then I'd follow that man to the ends of the... He was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone. But he didn't let it stop him. He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod, if ever he should fall. But I couldn't even do that. Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. Love you. grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
He should have bloody well said so then. Just once. Before he went. But then, why would he? Him, or anyone? I'd only have told him to piss off. You're wrong, though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction. I barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
Would you rather go at the helm?
Well, maybe I've got a few more years left in me.
I'm going to hold you to that, Otto.
Before you go, Sid would have wanted you to have this.
But that's...
This'll do me just fine. Thanks for the ray of sunshine. I'll see if I can't pay you back.
Already have.
It told me she was building a ship.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build?
Sorry for the wait. But hopefully you'll agree it was worth it.
You learned something about that sword, then?
I did better than that.
A whetstone?
Yes. But not one you'll find anywhere in Velen.
No wonder I couldn't get the same finish on the grinding. One hit and all done, eh? Might not be so bad if all you ever fought were duels. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent would be your last.
Even so, is there some way it could be used?
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could probably... But there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that. Swords that the curse breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them through a single fire piece. Nah, no point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax hand. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine, now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Just it up.
I'm just...
I'll be... Hey, I owe you.
You'll be...
And I'll... You come...
All right.
back, are you? What do you want? Should last you a good while.